SVG goes back to back at the road courses. This one he absolutely dominates at in wine country in the winding hills of Sonoma. And I mean it was it was a world class rear end whooping. I don't know how else to put it. He Nobody else really had too much of a shot at him. Briscoe couldn't quite hang with him, and good for Shane. Good for Shane. He's got, I think it's four road courses. Uh, Coda, Mexico, Chicago, Sonoma, Glen, Roval. So he's got six shots at these, and he's cashed in on three of the four. And I mean, hats off to him. He's a incredible talent on road courses. He's earned every bit of praise that he gets. Now he he definitely deserves a spot in the playoffs given the system, but to suggest that like he's going to be an actual contender now that he's built up a little bit of a cushion, give me a break. Give me a freaking break. He is going out he's going to be out in round 1. I think that's the he's going to be out in round 1. It's a nice little story for the time being, and he got the win. So now we have the standings, the official standings, thanks to Bob Pockrass. He has posted I guess the technically unofficial, but they're official, point standings for the Cup Series. Now, keep in mind, I do show the Winston Cup style, and we will discuss that. So, William Byron is the points leader with 1 win, 7 stage wins, 12 playoff wins. And his total points is 668. Chase Elliott in second. Kyle Larson, third. Tyler Reddick, fourth. Hamlin, fifth. Bell, sixth. Blaney, seventh. Briscoe, Ross Chastain, and Chris Buescher, 10th. Now, it really makes you want to sit and wonder how much differently we would be looking at William Byron if he didn't get lucky on that February night in Daytona. We're looking at this completely differently. We're looking at Byron completely differently. I mean, let's assume he finishes second. He doesn't get that win. He's still the points leader. Everything else stays the same. He is still the points leader. Just think about that. 0 wins. And he is the points leader in a series that has a win and in that system where running consistently, running good means absolutely nothing. You get a win and you're going to be able to compete for a championship. And so let's say let's say Tyler Reddick won the Daytona 500 this year. Actually, better yet, We're gonna go completely off the wall. We're gonna say Bubba Wallace won the Daytona 500. Okay. So you then you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 winners. We have So we have 12 winners. And I'm waiting for this thing to load. Get to the standings. Or to get to the schedule. So here we got the schedule. We have Dover, Indy, Iowa, the Glen, Richmond, Daytona. Okay. So, at Dover, let's say let's see. At Dover, let's say Kyle Busch wins at Dover. Okay? So, we got wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 12 winners. So Bubba makes it 12 still. You got Kyle Busch winning at Dover. And this is just stick with me here. So we have Busch winning at Dover makes it 13, which leaves 3 spots for points. And so you'd have Byron, Reddick, and Buescher in. So you have 1, 4, 10, while 12th is out. But, you know, we still got a little bit of wildness left. Got a little wild left. Because Indianapolis, that can be unpredictable. So, let's say let's say Ty Gibbs wins it. We'll say Ty Gibbs. He's been running well. Let's say Ty Gibbs gets his first career win at Indianapolis. Okay, so now we're at 2 spots left to get in on points. So it's Byron and Reddick, 1 and 4. And we'll just say for the sake of argument, the points essentially stay the same. Everybody's running about where they should to keep the points level at where they are. And then we go to Iowa. And we'll say Ryan Preece wins that. Well, now it is now you have Tyler Reddick, who is 4th in points, out. 4th in points, and he is out of the playoff. And then we'll say SVG wins at the Glen. Denny Hamlin wins at Richmond. And then Daytona. Let's say Carson Hocevar wins that race. In this scenario, with a winless William Byron leading the points, he is number 1 in points, and he is out of the NASCAR playoffs because he doesn't have the win in this scenario. This is how wild this is. This is how disastrous this could have gone. And it still could if Tyler Reddick does not get a win. And that's a whole different disaster coming up. Now, because everyone's locked in with a win and nobody cares about the points, Let's take a look at the Winston Cup standings. The Winston Cup style standings. You have Chase Elliott and Christopher Bell. You have Elliott, Bell, Larson, Byron, all within a race and a half of each other. A couple, two races, three, about, although with a total of 3 races back, give or take. You have Reddick, Briscoe, Hamlin, Chastain, Buescher. All that could go on a run and close that gap. Because all that matters. All of this should matter. And you have Chase Elliott on a career season right now. Granted, he doesn't have the wins, but my God, is he the most consistent guy. He is always around. He is getting points. That should be rewarded. And it's not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you run consistent. Penske has proven that for years. And we're also being robbed of an incredible championship fight between the Hendrick cars, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Hamlin, Chastain. He's kind of swinging from the top. He's kind of swinging. He could, I mean, we're being robbed of this because of this unbelievably stupid system by NASCAR. And they're trying to find a way to save it. Now, the system is so dumb. And my one and only hope for next year is that we get rid of this system. This whole playoff system does not work. It has shown that it does not work. There isn't a week-to-week story that is actually meaningful. And it continues to be meaningless. I mean, SVG was brought in for one job and one job only. He's done that tremendously well. That is to win the road courses and get that playoff money that teams get for finishing higher in the points. And SVG has done that, and he has excelled. He is a mercenary. That is his sole job. Get into the playoffs, and let's see what happens. Because when we get to playoffs, I can see SVG running well at St. Louis. I could see him running well there. Bristol, anything can happen. New Hampshire, I could see him running well there too. Now, Kansas would be a oh wow, I got that. Okay. So Darlington, maybe with his second time around, I could see maybe running well. And then like I said with St. Louis and Bristol, I could see him running okay there. Does he have the cushion with those wins and stage wins to be able to advance? It's going to be close. It's going to be awfully close. And then you get to the round of 12. New Hampshire, Kansas, and Charlotte. The Roval. He's going to win the Roval. So he's off to the round of 8. Oh, look, Talladega. Oh, dear. That could be something. Let's say SVG strikes lightning and gets the win. He finds lightning in the bottle, and then all of a sudden, you have a guy who doesn't run the ovals well. in the championship because he was able to win his way in via the road courses. And hell, he's probably going to be able to get 5 more points from Watkins Glen. 5 more playoff points. So he's going to have a half a race cushion. And you know what? If he keeps it off the wall at Darlington, he's going to finish well. St. Louis, or I guess Worldwide Technology, whatever. He runs well there. And then just keeps his nose clean at Bristol. Yeah, he's going to advance. And then he's going to win the Roval. And then who knows what's going to happen at Talladega. Then all of a sudden, you have a guy who doesn't run well, who doesn't run well at the ovals, in a series that is based on the ovals, in the championship 4, because he hit the lottery in Talladega, won at Charlotte, and survived the round of 16. All while sitting, points-wise, we're going by the Winston Cup, 24th in points, who was 32nd before we started racing at the road courses. That is how much. Now that is a disastrous scenario for NASCAR, quite frankly, because it shows how stupid their system is. Now, there obviously was a moment. There was a few moments in the actual race that I want to talk about. The first one being this moment here. You have, I don't know what it's like. I have no idea what that looks like. Okay. So, it says you be the judge. Did Ty Gibbs take this box too deep and intentionally mess up Brad Keselowski? It definitely looked dangerous. I am not sure on the actual pit stall rules on this, but you cannot be having drivers being that close to somebody else's pit wall. Play it one more time. I don't know if he actually hit the tire, but I don't know. I'll let you be the judge on that. Put in the comments. Should Ty Gibbs have been penalized for that? I don't know. I'm leaning no. I don't think. I don't really know what to make of that. That was like awfully deep. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, moving on to and then you had Josh Berry punting Carson Hocevar because it was a road course and everybody was frustrated. And then you have the playoff, or the bracket thing that NASCAR is trying to do that is weird and stupid. So, Ty Gibbs' drive stays alive, the ultimate underdog in this, which has actually turned out to be a nice little story here. You know, if his pappy wasn't stupid rich and doesn't actually need the $1 million. But I digress. So, for Dover, the final 4, it is Ty Gibbs and John Hunter Nemechek. And then you have Tyler Reddick versus Ty Gibbs. And this has a situation that could be absolutely that could be absolutely and utterly disastrous PR for NASCAR. So, let's say Ty Gibbs beats out John Hunter Nemechek. Okay? No, NBD. There's actually a decent shot of that happening. And then you have Tyler Reddick and Ty Gibbs. And let's go with the more likely scenario that Tyler Reddick beats out Ty Gibbs. And then NASCAR makes the executive decision with the charters to pull the charters from 2311 because of the lawsuit going on. Since they were granted the ability to do that. I think it's after Dover or before Dover. We'll say it's after Dover because I like this argument better. Facts be damned. But nonetheless, now you have Ty Gibbs and now you have Ty Dillon versus Tyler Reddick, and then you pull the charter from Reddick. Now he's got a qualifying on points, and you're getting a third of the winnings, if that, of what you would if you were a charter team. And you have complete. And let's say Michael Jordan says, "You know what? No, I'm not doing this. We're not finishing the season. We're closing down." Well, your big pinnacle moment at Indianapolis just got ruined because you decided that you were going to take 2311 to court instead of actually negotiating with them about the charter, and you elected to intimidate the other teams into signing the charter agreement out of fear of losing their charters that are worth $40 to $50 million a pop. Yeah. That is a PR nightmare. Because you know that's going to get brought up if Reddick beats out Ty Gibbs. That is going to be the bigger talk than the bracket. And whether NASCAR does it or not, it's irrelevant. That's the talk. That's going to be the talk when they take the charters. Because it's going to happen. NASCAR is not going to let 2311 and Front Row Motorsports keep those charters. And and MJ, you can say, "You know what? Screw it. I'm done. Doses. I'm gonna go and invest in the Cars Tour. I'm gonna go and invest in IndyCar." Because MJ does like racing. And he doesn't need NASCAR. NASCAR needs someone like MJ more than MJ needs NASCAR. That's the fact. Oh, NASCAR doesn't need Michael Jordan. Bull. They need they need younger owners. They need owners with energy, with spirit, with desire to win. And you're seeing that shift now with Hendrick Motorsports, with Rick passing the torch on to Jeff Gordon. Richard Petty passing the torch on to Jimmy Johnson. And what you'll see in the next 5 to 10 years, Richard Childress passed on to Austin Dillon. And you need somebody like MJ to not only bring name recognition to the sport, but also be that younger, excitable owner. One that people love. You ask anybody from the 90s, anybody from the 2000s, anybody from the 2010s, well, maybe not the 2010s. The GOAT of the NBA is Michael Jordan. And to have a name like that in this sport is huge. And all NASCAR has done is spit in his face with this whole charter debacle. So, I guess that's my post-Sonoma TED Talk. So, I think I've covered everything with NASCAR. So, if you haven't already, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any football, racing. And if you're listening on podcast, make sure to leave a 5-star review and hit the follow button. And we'll be back later this week for a Dover review. See you later.